Hi everyone, welcome to another food vibration session with me, Tara, the Playful Vegan. I hope that you are keeping well and that you are practicing self-care, including eating wholesome, nutritious meals. And today I'm going to show you how to make some shiny, happy chili bites. You can actually also feed these to your kids and the whole family if you omit the chili flakes. Otherwise they're just spicy but not hot spicy, so they're really the perfect snack for kids as well. Yeah, so I've had a really cool day. I went out into the sunshine, took a walk to the shops. I had a nap earlier. I'm very lucky. I don't have kids to look after. And yeah, just to demonstrate, a little bit of self-care, taking it easy and also preparing really nutritious meals for myself. I'm really lucky that I had the time, for sure. But this is really quick and easy, so hopefully you will be able to make this and enjoy it with your family or whoever you may be with during this lockdown, even if it's just yourself. That's the most important person. So yeah, let me just take you through the ingredients. So we've got some, I know the recipe says sweet potato, but I had some beautiful organic new potatoes. And I basically just, instead of grating them, because grating new potatoes is a little bit harder, I put them in the food processor with the S-blade, and then it just grated them perfectly. And yeah, I also put in some onion there. I've mixed the onion and the and the potato, should I say, because the onion actually prevents it from going brown. And onions, should I say, have really good immune boosting properties. They're antibacterial and antiviral. There's an old wives' tale that if you halve an onion and put it in your room when you're feeling sick and you go to bed, it's going to turn black and it's going to absorb all the toxins from the air. So yeah, I find that really interesting. And then we've got some beautiful organic Swiss chard that I got. I also ended up putting that in the food processor with the S-blade. And by the way, this is half the recipe. I'm not making the whole thing because it's just me and my housemate who is filming this. And of course, spinach is immune boosting. It's got vitamin C along with other nutrients. And then I've got my own homemade baking powder. I haven't stirred it yet because you need to stir it just before, mix it just before you put it in. I noticed when I've bought baking powder in the past, I've read the ingredients and it's got a whole lot of ingredients, and including numbers, and I ended up Googling homemade baking powder, and it's just two simple ingredients. It's cream of tartar and baking soda, 2 parts cream of tartar to 1 part baking soda. I couldn't find cream of tartar at the shops because everything is kind of limited at the moment. So I used baobab powder, organic baobab powder, which is like the cream of tartar of Africa. So yeah, that's just an interesting fact. And just note that normal baking powder is double acting. It acts as you blend it into the mixture of whatever you're cooking. And then also when it reacts with the heat. And this homemade baking powder is single acting. It just acts when you put it into the mixture, and you should mix as needed and just put it into the mixture and cook straight away. And then I've got good old nutritional yeast, which is a firm favorite amongst us plant-based people. But also, I think anyone really enjoys nutritional yeast. It's deactivated yeast, in case you don't know. It gives dishes that umami flavor. It's got a cheesy, nutty flavor. It's absolutely delicious. It's kind of like aromats, but healthy. It's also got B vitamins, protein, and folic acid. And then onto the spices, I've got some beautiful garlic powder, coriander powder. I've got some smoked chili flakes if you're going to make them spicy, some cumin powder, some turmeric, which also has anti-inflammatory properties and it's also good for the immune system, and then some sea salt. And then I've got a mixture of chickpea flour and buckwheat flour, but mostly chickpea flour. Okay, so it's absolutely simple. All you have to do is just put all the ingredients together, really. With recipes, usually it says, you know, something first, but to be honest, it's all going to end up being combined. I'm just going to add this homemade baking powder last. And let me just take off my rings because I want to mix this up with my hands. So you can actually add water to this when it's all mixed, but I find that the action of mixing with the hands ends up getting it quite nice and sticky, so you might not have to add water. I didn't put a measurement for water in the recipe because it's really just up to how it feels, and hopefully you'll get a good view of how it's supposed to look. It's naturally just sticks together really well because chickpea flour tends to be incredibly sticky. I really love using my hands. I know that at this time it's not the best thing to be doing if you're cooking for a bunch of people, but thankfully I'm at home. And I also like the contact with the food. Okay, and then just gonna use these crazy sticky hands to mix this. The mixture of the baobab powder and the baking soda. And then just give it a final mix. You can see already this is not going to need water. This is the consistency. You'll see it just naturally sticks together. There you go. And next I am going to show you how to cook these babies. Okay, I'm ready to cook these now. So I'm using coconut oil, organic extra virgin coconut oil. It's got a high smoke point. I love this oil for cooking, and you might actually want to add more than usual just to get them nice and brown, but you really don't have to use a lot of oil, especially if you've got a nice non-stick pan. Here I am with my sticky fingers again. So basically you can use a spoon, but I like to just, you don't even need to roll these into a ball. You just basically take a little handful like this. This is a good size. You could make them bigger, but just remember that you're going to want them to cook right through. So this is actually a good size for that. I've just put it on high heat for now because I'm trying to get the pan hotter, or the oil should I say. And then once these are all in there, I'm actually going to cook on medium heat with the lid on. I leave the lid on because I want them to cook all the way through, because of course there's potato in there. And then after a couple of minutes, so you want it to be fairly high heat at first, turn it to medium, and then just watch them after a couple of minutes and see. It should be like a golden brown on one side, and then you turn them. And then the way I turn them, it's a little bit awkward with a egg lifter, so I basically just use a couple of forks. Okay, so now I have turned all of these. You'll see this is the brown that you want, and I've also added some more oil, and you can also see they've puffed up a bit from this homemade baking powder, so you can see it actually works. I'm going to put the lid back on, cook for another couple of minutes, and show you the end result. And these are now ready. Take a look. These beautiful, crispy, shiny, happy curry bites. And I've got some dhania or coriander chutney ready. I bought it from the spice shop before lockdown. You don't actually have to have a dip, but it is nice to have. I love sauce, so I like to have a dip with everything. Otherwise you could make a homemade fresh coriander sauce just out of coriander, a little bit of water, some olive oil, maybe some lemon, maybe some garlic. Yeah, you play. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy these now with my housemates, and wishing you all the best, everyone out there. Stay strong, and I hope that you enjoy this little recipe. Ciao.